Hey everybody, welcome back to the Turnout. I am your host, Eloy. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you always know when the Turnout puts out a new video. Today is going to be a non-charmed video because just recently I was able to watch the movie Nobody. Now this is a movie that came out, almost a year ago, but nobody was going to the theaters. I definitely was not going to go to the theaters to see it. I don't really go to the theater that much anyway, but obviously other reasons. But in the end, I was basically just sitting around saying, oh, the moment that goes to a streaming service, any streaming service, I don't care which one, even if it's something that I can like rent or whatever, I will definitely watch it because I love Bob Odenkirk. And I love action movies like this, so it was definitely something I was very much looking forward to, within my own means, obviously, within my own limitations. So, Nobody. What is this movie? It has been described as a suburban John Wick, and honestly, I didn't even know that was what it was going to be until after I watched it. Then I went and read some reviews and thoughts from other people on it. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting was I was just watching it and I'm like, wow, that's just like John Wick 2. It's almost as if the tactics of very powerful people, murderers and assassins and whatnot, they use a lot of the same tactics, which honestly kind of makes a bit of sense that there would be this kind of game plan that like a lot of them would go on to destroy their enemies and whatnot. So to set up the movie, essentially there's this regular dude and he lives his day-to-day life and every day is exactly the same, like the Nine Inch Nails song. Everything is just kind of going, and his life isn't great, and it's monotonous, but, he's living it. And all of a sudden, somebody tries to break into his house. And by somebody, I mean this young couple, man and a woman. They try to break in. He doesn't have any cash for them to steal. They do steal his watch, but that's not even a big deal. And, he kind of handles the situation, lets them leave, and then they leave. But the movie really starts going when his daughter says, "Where's my bunny bracelet?" And he goes, "I don't know. Where should it have been? It was in this bowl." And that bowl was where they stole stuff from. So he says, "Okay, well, I'm going to go get your bunny bracelet." So that's kind of where the movie takes its departure. The bunny bracelet, if we're comparing to John Wick, is the dead puppy, But that is the inciting incident for him, is to do that. And there's some really amazing choreography in this movie. And one thing that I really like about it, if we are to continue comparing it to John Wick, is that John Wick seemed almost too perfect, too practiced. There were some fight scenes where he was like really good, and then other ones where he was kind of getting his butt kicked, and it didn't really seem like there was a reason why there would be a difference in his fighting style. In this case, Nobody, he's not even that great at fighting. He kind of gets his ass kicked. I mean, obviously, you see that he wins in the movie. He goes to try and get the watch and the bracelet. He does get the watch, but does not get the bracelet. So there you go, because they didn't have the bracelet. It does turn out later that the bracelet was just underneath a couch, and none of this really even needed to happen. One of the reasons that this movie is very, very unnecessary. But fun. It is a good movie. And I just want to, I guess that's something I should say, no matter what criticisms I might have for the movie is darn good. It's very watchable. And I know that the title of this is The Toxic Masculinity. We'll get into that in just a minute. But I feel like that's like one of the reasons why the movie happens too, is because of the toxic masculinity. So he doesn't get the bracelet, and then he's confronted by these people on a bus who are just general bad guys. So he's like, okay, yeah, I'll kick the crap out of these guys. And he does. Not without a lot of his own scars, but he definitely does kick the crap out of these 5 dudes. and one of them dies, and it ends up being the brother of a Russian, and then the Russian now sending people to his house, which was very similar to the John Wick house battle. Then he decides to go against the Russian, and he kills all the people who tried to kill him, and then he goes to his business and burns everything. Also something John Wick did to his enemy, which was also Russian. It was honestly very just weird. I feel like whoever wrote the screenplay for this was a huge John Wick fan, and really wanted to do justice by like a kind of an interesting, different take on a John Wick kind of character. Because it definitely, if you've watched both movies, you're like, there are definite similarities here. Now, one thing that is different here is that Nobody is not just a single person. By the end, he ends up getting joined by his father, played by Christopher Lloyd, who is awesome, and his brother, who is played by the RZA. And then there's some fun camaraderie as they defeat the Russian gang, and there you go. So, I mean, honestly, like, that's the movie. If I was to, like, lay everything out for you, it might spoil things. I try to not hit certain points in the story because I don't want everything to be spoiled if you do end up going to watch this movie. But let's circle back now and let's talk about the toxic part kind of this movie, because it was weird. I actually had a conversation. I had to pause the movie, and I was talking with my wife about the way that this movie is written, and I was like, wait a minute, I hope that this is not the thing that gets him to go and do all the killing. Because what ends up happening is the house gets invaded, obviously, by the two people. He says, we don't have any money. And they're like, give us your money, with like waving a gun in his face. He notices, obviously, that there are no bullets in the gun. So he's like, just let him go. Then his son tackles the guy, and he has the opportunity to like hit the woman in the head with a golf club and like really like take these guys out. It's a home invasion. We have to protect ourselves. And he doesn't. He doesn't take the swing. And this was the part that I didn't like of the movie, because he didn't take the swing. And then the cops, came later and they were like, wait, you had the opportunity to bash this burglar's head in and you didn't? Man, if this was my house, I would have totally done it to protect my family. And then his son is like really looking down at him, thinks he's a weakling for not murdering these people, and attacking these people and just letting them go. Then he goes to work and he's confronted by a coworker, I guess his brother-in-law, who's just like, here's a gun, but you're probably too much of a P word to even use it, and I can't believe that you just let them go if you had them in your sights and it was, and then his boss like piled on top of that, and then it was everybody was just telling him like he made the wrong choice. And I guess the main thing that I want to talk about here, because this is my channel and I can, is that actually was the right choice. Even without the knowledge that, the gun had no bullets or whatever, right? This was not a home invasion to hurt people. This was a home invasion because they needed money, and you learn why that couple needed money later on in the movie. Again, I'm not going to spoil everything. But they weren't there to hurt people. They were there to get money. They kept saying, where's the money? And when there was no money, they left. Now, here's the crazy thing, is that what if that gun was loaded? If the gun was loaded, then that means the likeliness of both of them, the father and the son who were up and confronting them, attacking them means that you're more likely to be killed. Tackling them, definitely the son probably would have been killed because, well, they only had the one gun and the woman had it. So in that case, there wasn't too much of a bad thing. But, they had knives. It could have been anything. Also, they could have died. But also, are you willing to murder somebody to protect your stuff? And I guess that's where I draw the line. I had a conversation with a friend of mine a while ago, actually, and they were like, what if somebody came in here and was trying to take your TV? I'd say, take my TV then. Like, if they have a gun and they're like, oh, it's like, if I have a gun, am I going to kill somebody over a TV? Like, my TV was like $400. Am I going to kill somebody over $400? Like, like, definitely not. I don't want to kill anybody for any reason, regardless of, the money involved, I guess. But I think that's the different mentality here, is that it became a toxic mentality. And I think it kind of gets lumped into toxic masculinity because he is a man and he's expected to protect his domain and to protect his women and his children. So all of the pressure went on him. Like, he should have bashed this woman's head in with a golf club. I mean, that's the only way to protect the family, right? Except that, her finger was on the trigger. If the bullets were in the gun, he could have hit her and then she could have pulled the trigger, could have killed his son. Like, there's a million different possibilities of what could have happened. And this movie seemed like it was framing it in a way that it was going to be like it was going to be like Falling Down, the movie, where like he just reached his point and he has to reclaim his masculinity. And that's where I thought the movie was going. That's where it was kind of telegraphing that like all these people are telling him, you're bad and you're shameful for not killing these people. But I'm very happy that it wasn't even that. It was the fact that his daughter's bracelet was stolen. And it kind of set him up, across the edge. And then he easily tracked down those people, like almost too easily. And then was able to, get his watch and not the bracelet back. So I think that was interesting, like kind of all this toxicness being thrown at the main character. I just keep calling him Nobody. But everything just being kind of thrown at this character. But none of that is the reason why he ended up going after and, going off the whole movie is crazy. But like the whole movie, he did make that best decision in the first place. And even if like people were like, oh, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. In the heat of the moment, he really made the best choice. Like there was no reason for anyone's life to end over some money. Like, and not even a lot of money. Like this was like, they got very little money from the thing. So like they're not going to make money and then you're also going to kill one of them. Like that just seems crazy. It's just interesting the way that stuff gets framed in movies nowadays. And I thought that this was actually pretty well done. I know I'm calling out the toxic masculinity, but I also enjoyed the fact that the character was resolute enough that he was like, no, that's definitely not what I was going to do. I was definitely not going to murder them for this. They barely got anything. They took my watch, but like whatever, it was my watch, so I liked that aspect of it, is that no, don't buy into what everybody is saying and that toxicness that seems to pervade our society. Don't buy into that. Now, your daughter being unhappy, well, no, those people need to die now. That's a whole other thing. But honestly, this movie was dope. Like if you have HBO Max, which is where it is right now, go watch it. If you don't have HBO Max, rent it. Like it's a really good movie. And if you like that kind of genre, that kind of revenge kind of, ex-assassin that's, coming out of retirement kind of movie like John Wick, you will definitely enjoy this. And they set up for a sequel pretty darn well. But let me know what you guys think of Nobody. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you always know when we put out a new video. And I have been your host, Eloy. This has been The Turnout. Thanks for showing up.